Hello chess friends and welcome to Yazadov's chess channel and welcome to my basics in chess series. Today we'll do some opening principles. So we did many of this middle game strategy. Today I wanted to show you the basic opening principles in chess, and they're really important because they work for every opening. That you can try maybe to play the nimzo-indian, you can play maybe the king's gambit, the queen's gambit, but every opening has this ground rule of a fast development. So today's subject will be the fast development of your pieces and your piece activity. So today I wanted to show you three games that explain this principle very well. And the first game, it was played between the legendary Paul Morphy and against Alexander before Meek, and it was played in 1857. So in the 19th century, of course, this principle was well known, and well, Paul Morphy was one of the chess players who was really using his pieces very actively, and he was really known for his tactical ideas in an early stage of the game. So let's see now his game. He plays here with the white pieces, and he played the move e4. We have here e6, the French defense, d4, c5, d5, gaining some space. Now it became a sort of a Benoni here with the c5, and we have here e5. And now Morphy plays the move f4. He really challenges here now this pawn, and we have d6, knight on f3, bishop on g4, and now f takes e5, bishop takes on f3, queen takes on f3. And this is the problem by black. He already played, as you saw, he played first one move with the bishop, and then he took the knight, and he allowed the queen to get out with the tempo. Meanwhile, this bishop was really not challenged with moves as h3, so white hasn't so far weakened his king side too much, and now black is forced to take this pawn on e5 with this d pawn, and we have here now a position, a supported pass pawn, and I've talked about the supported pass pawn also in my basics in chess. You can watch also this video. This is a very strong element of an endgame, this supported pass pawn situation. But now we'll see how Paul Morphy uses really his activity of his pieces, and he tries to develop it as fast as he can. So of course he plays first the move bishop on b5 because black gave up his light square bishop. That's why he has to put something in between. Of course, he has to play the move knight from b to d7. Now Morphy again plays on the activity, just fast in development. So he has to use all of his pieces on the attack. We have knight on f6, bishop on g5. Now again we have another pin. We have here a double pin situation, this bishop on the king and this bishop on the queen. Now we have bishop on e7, and now we have a very nice move d6 by Paul Morphy, which really challenges now black to take. And after bishop on d6 we have queenside castle, and this is already a losing game for black, because if the bishop retreats, then we can maybe even take with the rook or with the first we can take this knight, pardon me, on f6, and then we can take this knight on d7, because we have a completely pinned situation here for black. So you see, these pieces by black are only used to defend the king, and here Paul Morphy really used the activity, and that's why he was one of the best tacticians and opening players in the 19th century. So let's see now another example. This is a game by the legendary Nimzowitsch. He played here against Semyon Aliping, and again Nimzowitsch used also this principle of the piece activity and the fast development in the opening. We have here e4, e6, d4, d5, the French defense, knight on c3, knight on f6, e takes d5, knight takes d5, knight on f3, and now c5. Now we have a dynamic position in the opening, but here maybe black forced a little bit too early this c5 move. He should have maybe first played bishop to e7 and then secured his king, but that c5 Aaron Nimzowitsch uses for the attack, and he plays here first knight takes on d5, queen takes on d5, and we have now bishop on e3, which is threatening now to take the c5 pawn. Of course, that's why black took here d4, and we have knight on d4, and this is the problem. Black has only played here now with this queen. He didn't play with any other piece. Meanwhile, white has developed the bishop and the knight, and he wants to bring, of course, other pieces into the attack. So after a6, this was really a blunder move, I think, by black, because maybe he was afraid here of this move, knight on b5, but you see black played another pawn move. He didn't develop any piece anymore, and that's now his problem, because now white can create really a deadly attack, and the legendary Aaron Nimzowitsch, of course, sees this very nice line. He plays first here bishop on e2, and here black fall for this, and he took the pawn on g2. You see again the queen move, although we are pawn down, but the queen is now really the object of our attack. Again, we can attack the queen. We have here bishop on f3, queen on g6. Okay, the queen cannot be attacked anymore, but you see this pieces here are all on the 8th rank, and now we of course want to bring other attackers into the attack. So we have here of course queen to d2, e5, and again a pawn move. You see again black didn't play with the piece. He didn't go maybe bishop on e7. He didn't try to develop. That's why he lost the game. Now Nimzowitsch even sacrificed the knight. We have e takes d4, and this really opens now the e file, and you see with this queen and the two bishops and the two rooks, Aaron Nimzowitsch will create really this masterpiece, this attacking masterpiece, which will follow. Of course, he played first bishop takes on d4, and we have here knight on c6, attacking the bishop, and now comes the stunner, one of the best moves in chess history. I think it was bishop on f6. Again sacrificing a piece. We have queen takes on f6, and now the other rook comes into the game very well. Of course, we have bishop on e7, and now bishop on c6. If b takes c6, the other continuation is also, so he played here queen on d8 with a check. Now the bishop took, and we had here checkmate. So you see this piece activity broke the Aaron Nimzowitsch checkmate in move 18, and you see how dangerous it is when you don't play with your pieces in your opening, and you can lose in this way. So let's say now another example. It was played by the legendary also Paul Keres against Verbeck, and here also Paul Keres created a really nice attack. We had here d4, d5, e4. This was sort of a gambit line. Now we have e6, bishop on e3, d takes e4. Now knight on d2, and we have f5. Now f3. We want to challenging now this pawn structure here in the center. E takes f3, knight on f3. Again, you see now Paul Keres already broke out 3 of his pieces. Meanwhile, you see black didn't develop any of his pieces, so that's the problem. So the fast development didn't work here for black, of course, and that's that Paul Keres used to punish the opponent. So we have here knight on f6, bishop on d3, and we have here c5. Again, you see, black breaks the rule here in this opening. He plays again a pawn move. He didn't develop. He again breaks in the center without castling the king. So that's one of the principles. Also, you don't want to break soon in the center if you haven't secured the king. Of course, white can basically open the center because he has a secured king, because you see he has 4 pieces developed and his king is really not endangered. So this c5 is really not a good move. Now we have kingside castle, c takes d4, and knight takes on d4. Again, you see black took here this d4, and this leads just this into an improvement of the position for white. He improved the position of the knight on f3. Now this knight is more centralized, and we have here f4. I don't know about this move, so we have here rook takes on f4, and the idea was probably to play here this move e5 with this fork here on the knight and the rook. But of course, Paul Keres finds now a really nice attack. He plays first again bishop on b5, and now king on f7, and we have here queen on h5 with the check g6, and now bishop on c4. We have here a king on g7, and now we have a queen sacrifice, queen on h6, king takes on h6, and now here rook on h4, king on g7, and here bishop on h6. It's checkmate. So you see, look at this position now. These pieces are all of their starting squares. Also the queen. Basically, black played only with this knight, and this was his problem. So this fast development is really, I think, an important principle in chess. You have to develop your pieces fast. You have to use them. If you don't use them, you probably get crushed like in this game. So I hope you enjoyed this video. You can also watch all of my basics in chess videos, this middle game strategy and the end games, and of course you can also subscribe to my channel. Thanks you for watching, guys, and chess is the best, of course.